Kayla.
Hi, I'm Becky, and I'm the mother-in-law of A Couple of Bees Read, and this is my daughter-in-law of A Couple of Bees Read, and we'll get into how we came up with that name at some point in time, but we're here for our weekly wine, and this particular wine I chose today, I chose it for a special reason. It is one that we've had a couple of times.
Yes, definitely dog.
I know that you happen to like Chardonnay very much.
I do.
And I was not a huge Chardonnay fan at the time, but I do love this wine. But I got it specifically as a condolence. I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. Yes. So I better pour a little bit before we talk about the elephant in the room.
There is one day of the year that we don't talk very much. And it's around this time of year. It's called... the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl, and it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yes. See, I went to Auburn.
And I went to Alabama, as her husband also went to Alabama.
Yeah.
So we have a mixed family here. It's really the only fault I find with her. But, you have to take the good with the bad at times. And since the good outweighs the bad, we accept that flaw.
Thank you. So, Auburn did not win this year.
No, they did not.
I'm having trouble remembering the last time we won. But
well,
it's okay.
I enjoy forgetting the time you beat us 6 years in a row. So,
Yes, there's that.
I just kind of blanked that out, just go away from that part. But anyway, it's all in good rivalry. And honestly, if she really, really cared about football a whole lot, I would not, jank her about it. But
the beautiful thing about the Auburn-Alabama rivalry, and for those of you not from Alabama, you don't know this, but it is a friendly rivalry. Like
most of the time.
Most of the time.
There are those outliers.
When I was at Auburn, that was actually the year the tornado hit here.
Right.
I was engaged to Bo.
Yes.
And whole groups of fraternities, clubs, people from Auburn were coming to Tuscaloosa to hand out water, to help out.
To help with the cleanup and just donations and everything. And that's what's great about, our state as a community. When the important things come along, all of that nonsense is put aside, and we just come together and
I want to say even part of the football team.
Yeah, they
down.
did. Yes, they did, and helped out our football team as they were, helping out in the community and everything. So, like I said, even though your major rivalries in a sporting event, when it comes down to what really matters in life, everybody comes together, and that's what's the great thing about these kind of things. But just had to get her a little bit there, a little bit. I wasn't going to bring it up, but she started it. So
I did. I posted it on Instagram.
She did.
If you don't follow us on Instagram, you should. We're great.
All right. So this particular wine is called Dove Hunt Dog. Their Chardonnay, and again, I think I've talked about this particular brand before. It goes with the fact that a dog is man's best friend and their companion and everything, and so the people that produce it, they kind of went with that theme, as wine can be your companion too, at times. So to give you comfort or just fun and playful and everything. So this particular thing, Chardonnay, and as I said before, I was not a true Chardonnay lover. It's not anything I really cared for that much. But this particular wine is suggested if you're not somebody that likes the Chardonnay because of the buttery taste and everything in it. Try this, because it's actually done a little bit different, and my goal is to learn something new every week about how our wines are produced. And one thing I did look, and I do have to look at my notes because I'll never remember how to say this otherwise, is that this particular wine is put into stainless steel, not oak barrels. So and it does not go through malolactic fermentation. And okay, what does that mean? There's something that's added to the wines, and that is what gives you the buttery flavor. It almost gives it, like when you taste it, you can tell if a wine has been through that process, because it leaves kind of an oily, buttery consistency on the middle of your tongue. And you don't get that with this wine.
No, you don't.
At all. It's very fresh, very clean.
It's got that lemony.
Yes. And that's another thing, this malolactic fermentation. I'm very proud of myself for figuring out how to say this word. It tends to take away the aroma of citric acids and things like your lemons, things like that. So you would not smell it, you would not taste it as much. So it kind of tones that down a lot in the wine, and that's why we can taste it in this wine. Is because it did not go through that process. So it's not a real expensive wine, and because with our Black Friday sales still going on right now, it's even less. So it's a good one to try if you're just looking for a good, clean, crisp wine. It pairs well with soft cheeses and shellfish and all kind of things like that. So that's good. And I will say this, so since it pairs well with shellfish, I will go into my book review this week.
Oh, yes.
It's by Joanne DeMaio. It's called The Goodbye. And if you notice the books here, okay, that is the Seaside Saga by Joanne DeMaio. And she has 2 more coming out. So she has number 17 coming out in March, and number 18 will be out, I think, in August. And 17 is called The Barlows, and 18 is called The Visitors. And the titles always have some meaning within the book itself, so which I guess most titles do, but you have to really read the book in order to get why is it. Because when all of her fans, when this first came out, we were all like, oh no, she's going to quit writing the saga. She's going to say goodbye to all these people, and we were very upset. And she said, oh no, calm down. That's not what's going on. And I will say this about Joanne and her daughter Mary, who is her publicist. She is an independent publishing author. She's done everything on her own. Mary is her publisher and her publicist and everything. And they have done a remarkable job in promoting her books. She has a winter series as well. They're all standalones, but the Seaside Friends sometimes visit those areas, and the people there sometimes visit the seaside. And so it's kind of all intermingled, but they're totally different. But in this particular book, kind of the goodbyes, relationships are changing in this one. Their careers kind of are changing. There's just a lot of their normal life, what we, the fans that have read this whole series, know about. They're facing some major changes in their life, and so that's kind of what they're saying goodbye to, is the out with the old, in with the new kind of stuff. I really don't want to get into it because, first of all, if you haven't read any of them, you won't know who Jason and Maris are. You won't know Kyle and Shane, the brothers that were estranged for like 15 years because of a misunderstanding. Then you have Elsa, who comes here from Italy, and she's the long-lost aunt of Maris and her long-lost sister, Eva, where you find out all this. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I probably should tell you that's probably a little bit of a spoiler alert there. But as you go through the novels, there's just so many secrets come to light. And then things that you think you may get into the next book and go, oh, that's not really the way it is here. It's something else. But it's based on a real place called Point of Woods, which is in Connecticut. There's a real trestle bridge there. The Sandpiper is the local kind of grill and bar area that everybody goes to. They have an open bike night and all this kind of stuff. Jason, who's one of the main characters, he's an architect. there's a big thing with him and his brother, and something happens, and Jason loses his leg, and a whole bunch of stuff happens. And then Maris is a denim designer, and she had moved away, and then she moves back. And of all of the books, the second book, The Denim Blue Sea, that's kind of when Maris comes back, and her and Jason get together and everything. And it's probably still my favorite. And I bet you I've read that book half a dozen times, and I just love it. And I've read all of these books at least twice, and some of them more than twice. And it's just a wonderful series, and she writes it as if it is a television series. So at the end of this one, I'm reading it and I'm going, oh no, this can't be what's happening, you know. And then it just stops, just like an end of a season TV show would do. It would just stop, you know. But in March, I'll find out, because the Barlows are coming out. I know that's going to be the first chapter. I'll, you know, kind of be able to find out what's going on here and everything. So it's really fun. It's interesting. And I love Joanne and Mary. She is a very accessible author to her fans. She has an Instagram page. She has a Facebook page. And she's always posting something. And when we send pictures to her fan photos of her book in different areas, and you know, she features them. And I know several years ago she had a super fan of the month kind of thing, and I was chosen as the first one. I was really tickled about that. I was like, oh wow, that's so great, because and actually I guess it's because like I had 3 sets of the books. I had one at home, I had one I loaned out, and I had another set that I kept at the beach house. Well, in that time, I now only have 2 copies of Denim Blue Sea and 2 copies of Beach Inn, because I think people at the beach liked them so much they took them home with them. And then the others I ended up giving away as gifts up here. So, you know, I don't have a 3 full sets anymore. I only have that. But anyway, but it's been a lot of fun to read, and I would definitely encourage anybody that likes a series, they need to get here. And again, you know, like I said, Joanne's very accessible to her fans. She always comments back to you if you write something, if you have a question for her. Just like when we all freaked out because we thought the series was going to end. She was like, oh yeah, y'all calm down, that's not happening, you know, all this. So anyway, but that's my review, and I love it. Every one of these is a 5-star for me. This is a 5-star. I'm sure the others will be as well, because I just love her writing. And I think it's a great, just look at all the pages you have to look forward to if you haven't dove into this yet.
All right. Well, awesome. So we've got great wine, great books.
And my team won, roll tide.
That happened too.
All right. Well, we will see you next week here on our Couple of Bees Read and our weekly wine. Bye.
Bye.